You know, the Bible warns us about an unbridled tongue, an unbridled life. When I was young, I had a horse that was old and cranky. Somebody couldn't pay a land payment, and so they gave my dad a horse, saddle and all. And I spent a lot of days with that horse, but that was the orneriest critter that I had ever seen. And one of the things that I learned that you cannot do with this horse is you cannot let go of the bridle and just kind of let it lay on the horse's neck and just say, whatever you want to do today. Because that horse had a mind of its own. It would run when I didn't want it to run. It would go in directions I didn't want it to go. It would try to find the closest tree with a limb just the right height to scrape me off. I had to keep absolute control of that horse. And an unbridled life, whenever we take the disciplines off of ourselves and we don't realize the dangers of letting sin run its course in our life, we allow sin to become captain of our fate. And just like the book of Judges is kind of given the theme of every man did what was right in his own eyes. And they got into trouble. They would just naturally deviate back to a direction opposite of what God wanted. Here you got this wonderful declaration of our position in the family of God. Wonderful news. John was amazed by it. The language he used talked about how astounding and amazing that it is to be God's child. But then he warns us, make sure you're his child. You need that spiritual DNA test to make sure the things that should be in you are really there. He says a major characteristic that will warn you that you do not belong to God's family, and that you actually belong to another family, is the family trait of righteousness versus the family trait of sin.